executive session.
Okay, so we are now returning back to our special meeting of April 8th, 2019. We were in executive session pursuant to the Ohio Revised Code Section 121.22G1, and now we're resuming back to our special meeting, as this is an opportunity for us to deliberate and appoint a new Concord Township trustee, which I don't think we've ever done.
No.
I don't think Concord's ever done this, so it is, in doing so, Connie and I are charged with faithfully representing the equities of our roles as trustees for Concord Township. As a reminder to the general public that may just be tuning in, Chris Galloway, Mr. Galloway, has left us. He has resigned to take a new role as the county auditor. And pursuant to the Ohio Revised Code, Connie and I are to act within 30 days of his resignation. If we do not do that, then the Lake County Probate Court judge will do that. So he would only be one person making that decision. Connie and I will be two people making that decision. Now, so it happens that our Concord, or our probate judge is a Concord resident, right. Which does make it a little bit more easy in the mind. But it's our statutory duty, and it's left to us with I would suggest either very little guidance or very straightforward, very direct guidance, depending on your perspective. So if we are to follow the ORC, and we are employed to do that, it's our duty to make this appointment. Now, I spent some time doing my due diligence. I know you have, Connie, as well. I've looked at some legal opinions. I've looked at some insights from the Attorney General's office. More importantly, I think it's important to note that I have been doing this role for the last 14 years. I've been doing it with both you, who has 28 years of experience, and Mr. Galloway, who has the same experience as I have. And so I certainly have my opinion of how Concord is doing and what direction it's going. Also, I've had several inquiries from several different individuals with different types of interest in this role. All those interests and those individuals have unique abilities, special qualities in them that I thought were important to kind of deliberate with. I think it's important that in looking for that person that would replace Mr. Galloway, we've always had a nice division of labor here. There are certain things that Christopher would take upon himself, and there are certain things that I would take upon myself, and certain things that you would take that just would be in your bailiwick or my bailiwick or Chris's bailiwick, that I thought really allowed Concord Township to operate very well. It also took certain pressures off each one of our shoulders. I always wanted to thank you, because I think you've always given Chris and I really some invaluable experience and advice over time. And generally your answer would be is that it's our job to make these tough decisions, and so just let's go out and make those types of tough decisions. Now, that reminds me that whoever we pick, this appointment will be reviewed by a vote of the people on November 5th of 2019
Right.
Election, which I think it's important to note that my daughter will be 18 that day. And as I think about back that, she was 4 years old when I was elected. My son was 6 months old when I was elected. And in consideration of both those two young individuals, when talking about Concord Township and talking about Concord Township's future, I always think of the younger folks, my kids, their friends, because they're going to assist in what that future is, and those are the things that we need to make sure that Concord's in its best possible shape as they get to become the voting age. So, in consideration of who to pick, I always thought that a trustee can consider a wide range of considerations when making when making voting decisions. And I set out to understand how one may perceive our decision making because it's just left to us two. But I do remind the general public it's left up to us two only because the Ohio Revised Code says that this individual will have to be on the next November election. I want to be as transparent as possible about that process, but Connie, I would like to nominate Carl Dondorfer. And let me tell you a little bit about who he is and why my consideration is. Carl now is currently working at the Lake Metro Parks as a lieutenant for their policing agency. He is a former Lake County Sheriff's Office employee. He originally went to St. Gabriel's as a student, graduated, went on to St. Joseph High School and graduated. He's an Eagle Scout. He graduated from Bowling Green University as a Bachelor's of Arts in Political Science. I think he's got a minor in Sociology. He did some studying through the FBI Academy at the University of Virginia. Obviously, he worked at the Lake County Sheriff's Department for years. Started off as a road patrol, went on as a sergeant, SWAT team leader. He was a lieutenant, and then he finally was as an operations captain for many years. He's currently with Lake Lake Metro Parks. He's done a lot of budget and finance on behalf of the sheriff's office, and we were able to meet him as he would attend our meetings every now and then when the sheriff's report would occur. He's very good with people. He's had several employees underneath him over the years. He's had several negotiations with budgets, unions. He's a people person. If you ever get to meet him, I know that my involvement with him over the years have always been on unusual things where we call the Lake County Sheriff's Department out. So, for instance, the St. Vincent de Paul organization, which is a organization that will extend dollars and cents to individuals in need, and he would talk to those individuals that were working that organization, making sure that they are certainly smart in their ways of extending those dollars and cents, doing background checks. That's something over and beyond what typically happens from a policing agency. I think he did it because he's just a good person, but because he also has some specialized knowledge that I think he wanted to make sure that was very helpful to the greater good of the area. So it is that and so many other reasons that I think he would make a great choice. And so I guess I would ask you to make a motion to nominate him as our next Concord Township trustee.
I would be very happy to move to appoint Carl Dondorfer as Concord Township trustee. I'm well acquainted with him. I've talked to him recently. I think he is a very good choice.
Mr. Rose, do you have a resolution?
We do, Mr. Galloway, or I'm terribly sorry, Mr. Malcheski.
He's like the ghost. He's just always in this room, isn't he?
Yeah, and I apologize, sir. We have prepared Resolution 2019-07, which is a resolution to appoint a township trustee, but it is blank, so we'll have to fill in his proper name on this, and then at that point, you can bring up 2019-07 from the floor. Mrs. Dawson, I'll hand this to you to send over. It requires the nominee's name in 3 places.
Okay,
And we'll need 2 originals for that. One we will maintain in our files, and the other one has to be forwarded to the Lake County Board of Elections so that the person selected for trustee can receive his appointment certificate in order to serve.
So I guess at this time, then, I would entertain Resolution 2019-07, appointing Carl H. Dondorfer to Township Trustee, whereas Christopher A. Galloway, trustee for Concord Township, has tendered his resignation, and his resignation has been accepted. And whereas there is now a vacancy in this position, which the trustee believes should be filled as soon as possible to enable the continued and uninterrupted operations of township government, and whereas, upon review of the required qualifications of Carl H. Dondorfer, and the trustees further determined that Carl H. Dondorfer possesses the background and knowledge necessary to perform the duties of this vacated office, now therefore be it resolved by the Concord Township Board of Trustees, Lake County, Ohio, that Carl H. Dondorfer is hereby appointed as the position of Township Trustee respectively, effective immediately to fill the vacancy and to hold the same until his successor is elected and qualified in accordance with the Ohio law. Now, I'm just reading that with inserting Mr. Dondorfer's name in the blanks. So I'd entertain a motion for that.
I move that we adopt Resolution 2019-7, appointing Carl H. Dondorfer as Township Trustee.
Okay, I will second that. Any discussion, Connie?
No, other than the fact that I think this is an excellent choice.
It is an excellent choice. It's not, it's all an easy decision. These are all tough decisions. And again, I want to thank you for your assistance in the process. I really appreciate it. So thank you. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. We don't have any additional business, is that correct?
Correct.
That is correct. I anticipate that once you've spoken with Mr. Dondorfer, we will set a special meeting in order to arrange for a swearing-in ceremony at
And
the
now-
appropriate time.
Now that we've named Mr. Dondorfer, we will coordinate with Mr. Dondorfer and his family to set a special meeting to announce to have him sworn in for the purpose of swearing in as a new trustee. I would like to thank everyone for their patience, everyone for their interest. I think Concord is really a tremendous place to live and work. And we will continue to move Concord in what I believe is a great direction. But at this time, we will go ahead and adjourn the meeting. Okay, thank you.